A privilege of being yours would do. Hello, hello. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay. So, hi guys. Welcome to my channel. I'm back again because I can't get enough. Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller came to get down, came to get down. All right, no, for real. I'm exhausted, but before I can take a nap, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this, do this, do this. Okay. Let me just get these cards. All right, getting some cards ready. Yo, girl is exhausted. Let me take my glasses off. Okay. Anywho. Okay. Let's get started for real. My head hurts. It doesn't hurt. My eyes are exhausted. I'm just exhausted. Billy, did you do it? Oh my God. Girl. Girl. Okay. Billy. Sorry. How did it go? How did it go? Do you want to come on real quick? You want to come on real quick? And kind of, really quick. Let a girl know. Let a girl know. Can I bring you on? Okay. Let me calm down. Is that okay? If you say yes, I'll give you the link to hop on with me. I really want to just pick your brain really quick. Okay. I really want to pick your brain. And because it's always interesting. I love to hear how it goes for people when they do my candle ceremonies. I'm telling y'all. I'm just saying. I mean, you can come on with just the audio. You don't have to do the video part if you want. But the candles do not burn the same like regular candles. And I can always tell when it's doing the thing that it does because, it burns crazy. It's not uncommon for the candles to shatter like candle burners. I remember when I first began making these candles, I did a whole bunch of research and, everything said that real mason jars, what the hell is that? There's something on my real mason jars are candle safe. That's what they said. And so I had the candles in a mason jar and I was burning it like that. And I could feel I left it burning for a little bit. And I could feel like, oh, something's being undone. That's what I felt like. Oh, I feel something. And I went back to the candle and, it was nearing the end. And then, boosh, I was like, oh, well, that really undid something. I'm not joking. I was like, oh, well, damn, that was a lot that it undid. Uh-huh. She says, I saw auras above the candles. Layers of colors, at least 8-inch flame. I'm telling y'all, one time I was using a chime candle, and chime candles are about this big, right? They're not very huge, so effective. And what ended up happening, I had lit it. I knew someone was doing witchcraft on me. I knew they were. But I just didn't want to bother. I didn't want to bother. I was just like, bitches, I got shit to do. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna light a few extra candles. I just, because that's what I was working on. I was making more candle kits. And I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and light two of them. Because sometimes bitches just need to know. And so I lit them. Luckily, they were on a metal stand. And I was doing my work. And then Michael goes, like, yes. So doing my work. Yes. And he goes, and I look and like the candles were almost done. And they're about this tall at that point, and the flame was about this big. I was like, oh, these bitches really trying? Are you really trying, aren't you? Let me halt what I'm doing and really give this a proper attention. Yeah. So it's definitely it is like a torch flame. That's why we make sure to email everyone the instructions. Like, you do not do not ever leave these candles alone. Do not leave them alone. Don't think it's gonna be like, oh, relaxing candle. Maybe for the first few minutes as it calibrates itself. For the first few minutes, it will be normal as it calibrates itself. These candles are programmed in such a way where for the first few, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, it's calibrating itself to your energy, right? It's adjusting, and then it's seeking out all the spaces within you that it's going to do the work that it was created to do. And then when it does that, then it's like, okay, we on and popping. You want that link? Hold on. I think I still have it in here somewhere. But yeah. I'm just like, and I knew because this is for succubus incubus removal. I knew it was going to be extra crazy, and I told Frey, like, people gonna burn their house down with this. Well, yeah, we have to make sure they know. Do not leave it alone. Do not leave that candle alone. I promise you. Don't leave it alone. You might think you don't have much going on, but I promise you, don't leave that alone. All right, so let's go ahead there. It'll scroll across the bottom. Okay, let's get started because I want to take a nap. I'm at that ripe age. I'm at that ripe age of like nap time. All right, let me go back. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and this is what I was told. Okay. What if it is worth the risk? What if it's worth it? What if? What if this is something you need to experience? What if, right? Oh, girl. Billy says, I watched auras leaving a building above the flames yesterday and auras coming in, and then it was on. These, like, I'm telling y'all, the world is lucky that I don't fully tap into more of my bruja aspects because the shit that I remember, y'all, don't get me started. Don't get me started. All right. So, rebirth. You're going through this process, whatever this process is, it's to rebirth you. It's to get you into that space of like conscious co-creation. It's to get you into a space of really choosing how you want the entirety of your life to go. Candles, magic. There's going to be events that are going to trigger you. They're going to ignite this passion inside you. There's going to be events that are going to cause you to feel like you need to question everything and everyone. There's nothing wrong with questioning. There's never anything wrong with questioning. And when you begin to question in a way that will get you answers, rather than keeping you in a cycle. Like if you just keep asking why, but why, but why, but why, that doesn't get you anywhere, right? If you're asking specifics, but why does it have to be on this specific date, then that will begin to get you somewhere. Ethos, that mindset is being shifted. The mindset that you're in, the mindset that's around you, all of that is being shifted. And as it shifts, it creates space for you to bring in a different life. When you do the candle ceremonies that I create, that is intended to create space. As you remove something, that density, you then have to backfill it with positivity, with what you want, what you need, the things you're craving. And people don't realize that. There's always a balance that must be kept. Creation does not like voids to exist. What that means is, if you remove something, a void will exist. And so there are other things that will fill that void if you don't choose what you want to fill it with. Do you see how that works? You have to be the one to choose what you fill it with. And if you don't, then you don't. But don't be mad when you find yourself all filled with parasitic thoughts, parasitic feelings, parasitic energy, just parasite, parasite, parasite. It's up to you though. Okay. However, you're going to play that out, it's up to you. It's guidance in reverse. That guidance is upside down. This is someone listening to people who have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. There are a lot of people in this world who just like to hear themselves talk. Okay. There are a lot of people in this world who just really, really love to hear themselves talk. It's irrelevant to them if their advice is credible, if it is something that is accurate, if it is safe for you. They don't have to deal with the ramifications of what they advise you. That's the reality of it. Why do I not advise people on things that I know nothing about? And unless I've lived through it, unless I've conquered that circumstance in my own life, I don't know enough about it. If you want me to speak my opinion, and it's something I haven't lived enough, I will tell you straight up, I don't know if I'm really the best person to ask. I don't really have the experience that's necessary. Um, I just don't. But if you really want my opinion, I'll give it to you. Like earlier, I forgot who it was. I think it was Annie. She had asked if I would ever consider doing a workshop to support parents who are raising the new children, right? To help parents with their advocacy and other things, sanity. Um, I'm a mom of quite a few kids. I still don't feel that I have enough information to responsibly teach a class like that. I am a stay-at-home mom. But see, here's the thing. I'm a stay-at-home mom of my children, not all children. And so what does that mean? All children are different. My children are a byproduct of the environment that I've raised them in. I don't know enough about broad childhood development. And I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to poorly advise a parent. I don't want to negatively impact a family's journey. One-on-one, that's a different thing because we can talk, we can openly discuss whatever it is that's happening, and I can get a sense for it. But to kind of just have this workshop where I just speak in general terms, I don't know that that's a good idea. I don't want to poorly advise. And unless you are dealing with someone who has that same type of mindset, that same level of integrity, who are you really listening to for your life? This guidance is upside down. This is someone who is more interested in sounding right, in being right, sounding right, being received as right, versus actually being right, being proper. being appropriate in their approach, in their interference with your life and your journey. Be careful of who you trust. Be careful of who you allow to occupy so much space. Sorry. I don't like it when you have these conversations with me while I'm talking. Balance. The need to keep balance. Balance between your courage and your fear, balancing your potential with your reality, balancing the positive with the negative, existing in the center point between these opposing polarities. It's okay to have two opposing polarities, like two separate opposites. It's when you juxtapose the two opposites that you begin to understand where center is. That's where you begin to understand where you are in relation to the point of center. That's how you begin to understand where you're at within your journey, within your energy, within your life. And this understanding, it's a really important component if you want to progress. Now, if you're satisfied with where you're at in life, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have goals. You don't have to achieve anything. That's the reality of it. This is not some like, I'm setting you up so that I can tear you down. No, those are statements, complete statements. You don't have to have goals. You don't have to accomplish anything. You don't have to prove anything. But the question here is, how are you going to feel if you don't? Will you feel as though you've amounted to something in your life? Because if not, then it would be a good idea to set some goals, maybe one or two goals, maybe three goals. Not so many goals that you become so overwhelmed. Enough goals that you have something to work towards, but not so much that you become overwhelmed. Okay. When I do my mentorship with people, that private mentorship, I set three goals, three focused objectives. Why only three? Anything more than three, people have a tendency to get overwhelmed. And then they, you know, don't even want to try. Anything less than three, people then become very avoidant. They procrastinate. Procrastination is a form of avoidance. So they procrastinate, and the next thing you know, it's their checkup and they haven't done anything. Three is a good number. It's a solid number. It's a very solid number from which you can build a foundation for a new life. Set three goals for yourself, not to impress anyone, but three goals that will make you feel good about yourself right here, right now. Maybe no more of a certain food, maybe less of a certain show, maybe processing your emotion, maybe not overthinking, maybe meditating once a week, whatever it is, something reasonable, something reasonable. It's worth the risk. You're worth that risk. That risk that you're taking, this risk that will change your life, you're worth it. Protection. Ooh, two messages here. Um, this sense of you are protected, which you should know that by now. You have innate protection. As you came into the density of flesh, you were granted a certain level of protection. Now, the second message, are you looking for protection or are you looking for a way to hide? I remember ever since I was a child, like Michael is tasked to protect me. That's one of his jobs in my life. That's why he's always with me. Uh, I remember one time I was still fairly young. I would say single digit age, maybe like 8, 9, somewhere around there. And I was so afraid. I was so afraid to the point where I was going to pee my pants. Middle of the night, and I was so afraid. I don't know why. I was so afraid. And I still remember that feeling of being so afraid that I was shaking on the inside. And then years later, nothing happened to me that night. Years later, um, gosh, I must have been I want to say mid to late 20s. It's quite a few years later. Um, at that point, I knew it was Michael that was around me. And I remember being afraid like that again. It was so scary. And I wanted to hide. I wanted to hide behind Michael. Did I break my glasses? Bitches. Oh, it's part of the design. My bad. I thought the shit was cracked. I was like, bitches, I just got you. Okay. I'm sorry. I called you bitches. You know, one for each lens. I thought they both look cracked. I'm sorry. Y'all are not bitches. You helped me to see. I'll put you down there. Shit. I thought it was cracked. Um, I wanted to hide. I wanted to hide. I was so afraid. And I was trying to get behind Michael, and he kept shoving me like he kept shoving me like this, like, no. He kept going like that. And I was just like, what are you doing? And I got so frustrated. And he held me by my shoulders and pushed me forward like this and held me there. Motherfucker, you supposed to protect me. And he just held me there. He's like, deal with it. Deal with it? What do you mean deal with it? I was trying to avoid the very thing that was sent to teach me. And I was trying to logically deduce uh I shouldn't deal with that. Like, you should deal with that because you're here to protect me. That was my opportunity to learn. That was my opportunity to learn. I didn't need protection from the lesson. I needed to be able to experience that in whatever way I'm meant to experience that and learn from it. So I ask you again, do you need protection? Or are you simply using protection as a way to avoid? Because if you're simply using protection as a way to avoid, life has a way of circumventing that avoidance. If you avoid what's coming directly towards you head on, um, if you're able to successfully avoid that, it'll come from the side. And if you're able to successfully avoid that, it'll come from behind. And if you're able to successfully avoid that, it'll come from all the way around you. Your entire world, excuse me, will crumble. And then we wonder why our life lessons go the way they do. If you had just done what needed to be done, then you wouldn't have that experience become something much, much, much more amplified, elevated, accelerated, intensified. It's really up to us. We are the ones that decide how intense the lesson will be experienced. Banishment. One second. This has to do with someone you've banished. All right. Hold on. Okay. Do, 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 do. My faded. Okay. I get it. I get it. So, concealment, foundation, invocation, prosperity. These two. The foundation of this has been concealed. The root of what you're struggling through has been concealed. You've concealed it. You are at the root of this. It's been hidden away. It's being invoked. Whatever it is that was hidden away is being invoked. It's being called forward again. It's being invited by your soul, and it will come forward. It will be prosperous in its attempts to undo the banishment. Okay. Initiation. You don't think I'm cute? You said it. You think I'm a pain in the ass. Michael says, "Oh, it's so adorable how you try and sit and think of a different meaning than what you're being told." And all I have to say is, "You don't think I'm cute?" All right, all right. So, chalice is a womb. The womb is a chalice, fulfillment. Whatever was inserted will eventually be born. Whatever was pressure injected will eventually be born. This is a process that has been percolating for quite a few years. It has to do with your sacral, personal power, Christ consciousness, throat chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, all of these colors, all of those colors, right? Mm, mhm. Triquerta. You got the tri Oh my god, I was watching this video. There was this video, right? I don't know what body part it was showing, but it was just some random close-up of something, and it's flashing sigils on the screen, and it's talking about, like, um, I think it was something along the lines of, um, they serve God and yada, 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 uh I mean, I don't know what God you're serving. I'm just saying. That was the thing. They were saying they serve God. Their work is godly work. And you can always tell when someone serves God because if they charge for the reading, they're selfish and they're serving themselves. But if they do it completely for free, then it comes from the heart and it's God's work. I don't know if you know sigils. That last one, that's Lucifer's sigil. So I'm just saying, like, are you aware that's Lucifer's sigil? So I'm not saying Lucifer's bad. I'm saying, what are you actually saying? Because you're talking this in this video, it's like they were presenting it as though they are representative of the Christian God, you know, Abba, Adonai, the Christian God, Yahweh. And but then they're flashing all these sigils, and then the last one it pauses at that, and it's I know that sigil. That's Lucifer's. You can't have both. You can't have both. I'm just saying. You can't claim the Christian God and then also claim Lucifer. It's Christianity doesn't really like Lucifer. I'm just saying. I have no problem with Lucifer, but you can't claim both. And in that claiming both, then shame the very people that you know nothing about. Okay, I'm done with the tangent. Michael goes, "Are you done with your tangent?" Yes, I'm done with the tangent. So Chalice, he's like, I know. I was trying to change the subject. I was trying to change the subject, but he called me out on it. Damn it. So Chalice. All right. Lots of symbology there. A lot of esoterica. Protected in all directions. This is a sigil that often represents the totality. This totality of angelic, archaic beings. So your protection in all directions is umbrellaed by that. And then, of course, you have all the other symbols and whatnot. But, yeah. So this fulfillment, it started with something that it's connected into your sacral chakra. It's this sacral chakra connection, initiation. This was not initiated by anyone outside of you. It's you. You initiated this. It's not about blame. It's about something that you need to recognize began within you first. Feminine, lady, goddess. Anywho, let me just pull the cards. I never get curious. Okay. So there was this like question of, don't you ever get curious? And I was like, I never get curious. And then I heard Marlene kind of giggled. Anywho, don't you have other things to do? Someone else to pester. Anywho. Okay. She asked if I was satisfied. Yes. What's it to you? I'm satisfied. So card number 2, radical curiosity, seeing as if for the first time every time. That does not look like me. Not all Asians look the same. Excuse you. That does not look like me. Does that look like me? That does not look anything like me. That's so rude. Anyways, seeing as if for the first time every time. So there's something that was missed in the details. It's being missed. Inner integration. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. What? There is a peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with a taming and tempering effect life. What? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. I literally don't get it. Oh, this is just the juxtaposition. What? I don't understand. I'm not joking. I don't understand. I'm not even faking being like this. I literally don't understand. So, one end of the spectrum is this curiosity, childlike nature. The other end of the spectrum is just basic, boring ass people. Sorry. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. You're just irritating me. Tell me what it means. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. What does that even fucking mean? What does that mean? Well, I would rather be a cute as fuck, naughty little elf. I would rather be this. I would rather be this than this any day. What does that mean? Can someone explain this to me? I'm super serious. What does this mean? What does that mean? I have a mild concussion. I have a mild concussion. I don't care what it means at this point. All you did was frustrate me. I don't care what it means. I don't care anymore. Anywho, okay. What the fuck does that mean? Integrating the inner wild brings peace because of what we've lived through in life. I still don't understand what the instruction is. So, like, I'm serious. I have a mild concussion. I don't know how long that takes to heal, but I don't think my brain's still working quite right. So, is that kind of like saying that she was kind of pushed out, but she needs to be part of that again? Is that it? Like to integrate that into the but they're not compatible. What if they're not compatible? So then what happens? Is one of you smoking? I feel like because what if he's smoking? Because I'm feeling some kind of way. What is going on? Um, it doesn't make sense. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is amazing. I'm just saying, Unreal, if you want to sponsor me, I think I'm going to start having sponsors, things that I eat. Because, okay, Chris and Nikki, is that who you are? Are you the owners, Chris and Nikki? I don't know why you signed it. It says, we started Unreal so everyone can enjoy out of this world all real chocolate snacks without all the sugar. We'll make our crispy cups with deliciously rich fair trade dark chocolate, creamy peanut butter, bits of crispy quinoa, and lightly sweeten them without sugar alcohols. We just use less sugar for real, and the taste is unreal. It's good shit. I tell you, it is some good shizzles. Mm-hmm. 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 Are you sure Universal D? Food makes me happy. I feed my emotions. um, if I'm correct, it's a duality between the two balances, temperance and exploration. Temperate exploration. A tentative plan. Ooh. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, I'm starting to get it. Maybe I just needed sugar. I'm starting to understand. Card number 34, circle, clarity. Circles, clarity begins in the eye of the storm. So it's like this consistent round and round and round we go because of the radical curiosity, right? Every single time it goes round, it's almost as though they're seeing you for the first time. And they're trying to integrate whatever information, I assume. I assume. It's just an assumption. Whew. You guys want to try something? Let's do this thing where I'm going to eat another one. I'm going to eat another one. And then I want you to close your eyes and just breathe and see if you can taste it. I'm going to throw my thoughts at you. Just throw my thoughts at you. I will leave the concussion part out of it. And so you would think that my line is crooked. It's not as swollen. I'm just saying. Do you guys want to try it? No, let's keep on with the reading. Card number 13, false beliefs. Once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limit. That's what it is. See, these trifling heifers, that's what it is. That's why I don't want to understand it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 4 females. 4 females trying to convince another that this little alphakin, this little elfiekin, this cute little munchkin right here is just not worth the time or the effort because they don't want to integrate that wildness into the group. Bitches, you can't handle me. I don't know who the bitches are, but I'm watching you. You can't handle me. That's what it is. I think I just need more chocolate, is what it is. It's that sense, though. It's that sense because the way the cards are put down, look at that. This is you, and this is the group. They keep trying to look away from you, right? They look away from you. So Annie says, I have that lantern deck as well. When you put both cards together, it looked like the 4 aspects of maiden, mother, guardian, and crone was waiting for that elf child aspect to reintegrate. But see, here's the thing. They're looking away. They're looking away. So I don't get that sense of a want, a desire to reintegrate. It's the opposite. Like, we're going to ignore you until you choose to assimilate, until you choose to water yourself down. It's almost like I was listening to this man speaking, right? And he's talking about, not watering yourself down for the people who need you to be watered down because they don't understand the greatness that you are and all of this other stuff. And it's like, it didn't make sense to me because at one point in his talking, he's like, you're 100 proof. He's talking about alcohol. You're 100 proof. And I'm like, but isn't that just 50%? Because to be pure alcohol, wouldn't you need to be 200 proof? Like, am I misunderstanding that? Let me look that up real quick. Because I didn't get it. I did not get it. It's 50%. It's diluted. And it's this thing of we're still going to let you be the little elf, like you're the little weirdo in the group, right? That's me lining these bitches up so I could just slap them all at once. Slap, snatch, slap, snatch. You slap them and you snatch their soul. Girl, don't ever assimilate. Don't ever dull your pointy ears. Don't ever change your clothes. Don't ever come down from the trees in the middle of the night. Stay exactly as you are. And in 5 years, when it's cool to be just like you, these bitches will put on their elf ears, those little prosthetics, and they'll copy you. They'll idolize you. And then they'll try and be your friend then. Mm-mm. I don't get a good sense from that. I don't get a good sense from that at all. Maybe this clearly. Yeah, no. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. I still see a gaggle of bitches, but now they're looking very, very enviously at this little elfikin. Stay in the trees, baby. Stay magical. Stay in the trees. Be elusive and exclusive. Don't listen to none of them. Mm-mm. Ah. Card number 13, false beliefs. Once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can realize the false limitations they confine us to. And see, that's yeah, it's like a sorority, is what I got. And that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's so much wisdom in a life that's actually lived, not a life of confinement, but a life of just pure freedom, a life that lacks successful assimilation. And I say this as someone who spent my entire life attempting so hard to assimilate, from being someone who entered an American classroom for the first time, not knowing a single word of English. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I started preschool with no English. One of my memories from preschool, and I still remember this, the teacher had her daughter helping in class that day. And and that morning, later morning, but before lunch, part of what we were doing was learning the alphabet by allowing each child to choose a letter, and they were going to use that letter. They had molds, and they had this like hot pot thingy majigger, and it was plugged in. And I've never fucking seen that kind of shit. My family cooks on a stove. What's wrong with you? How the hell would I know that that gets hot? But anyways, I didn't speak a word of English, and they asked me, they showed me all of these molds of the different numbers and letters, and I picked my number and my letter, and that I had been watching, and I was like letting them know, so you put it in here, and I put my hand like this on the electric frying pan. We don't use those kind of contraptions in the Philippines. What the fuck? We use open flame and we use a stove. We don't use plug-in shit like that. I would not have any idea what that is. And because I didn't speak any English, I put my hand on there. Um, and I remember because the daughter, she's like, "Oh no!" And she grabs me by my wrist. I assume she said, "Oh no." I just know she yelled in sheer terror. She yelled and grabbed my wrist, and then they put my hand under the sink, cold water. And I was just looking at them. I wasn't crying. It didn't hurt. And I was just looking at them like, why are you so upset? That was one of my first memories. And it was at that point they spoke to my mother after school. They pulled her aside, and it was a low income community. It's in Oakland, low income. And they pulled her aside and they scolded her for allowing me to come to class without knowing a single word of English. Yeah, a lot of the kids made fun of me because I didn't speak English. And then, of course, like later on, they made fun of me because I had a whole Cadillac grill. The whole grill, boo, is upgraded. I have very soft teeth, and so the whole grill was upgraded to Cadillac status. And I got teased quite a bit, you know. Um, and that kind of upbringing, that kind of childhood experience, it put in my head all the way through much of my adulthood that my goal is to assimilate, to lose more and more and more of myself until I become watered down enough for the rest of the people to be able to readily tolerate me. Hmm. I got made fun of because my eyes are slanted. Bitches, who's paying for my eyes now? Mm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right? Right? But you didn't even have the decency. You didn't have the decency to give me the proper kudos. So instead of calling it Asian eyes, which is what you're doing, you called it the fox eye trend. It's okay though, because never did I assimilate, and never will I ever again feel like I am less than because I'm not more like you. You see that there? Yeah. What most people don't realize, when you grow up in the state of California, being a non English speaking Asian child has a tendency to be much more traumatic than being a non speaking Mexican child. It's both traumatic. But here's the thing, like, the kids who spoke Spanish, they actually were able to kind of band together and be able to take Spanish ESL classes, English as a second language classes. Because my type of Asian, we have so many different dialects, and there weren't any, or there weren't enough of the Asians that speak my dialect. I didn't have any of that. And all the other Asian kids that could speak English were ashamed of me because I couldn't speak English. I mean, being a kid just sucks. It sucks having to tell yourself that you're not enough and you need to change because everyone else needs you to change who you are. Hmm. And so I learned to not like myself. I learned to have no appreciation for my natural features. I learned that I'm less than because whatever reason makes us different. And then one day I learned to take a risk and just love myself, to really allow myself to see the differences are what make each of us beautiful in our own way. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to be so different. It's beautiful to not be like other people. Card number 42, home. May your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. And I think that's what's happening right now as you're becoming home for yourself. And as you become more home for yourself, you become more aware of how beautiful your home actually is. That's beautiful, Sochi. Regeneration begins with decay. Allowing all of those old constructs, those old belief structures, those old schools of thought that tell you that unless you are part of the majority, which, whatever, then you are less than. What if part of your purpose is to be in the minority? Because the minority is what will then guide the majority later. Yeah, no, they don't give all non-speaking English kids ESL classes. I never got ESL classes. Instead, what they instructed my mother to do was to strip my cultural identity from me. They told her no more speaking my dialect to me at home, that it had to be all English. And my mom didn't give a shit. She don't give a shit because she's like, hey, you're not Americano. Yeah, you're not American. Yeah, I would hear that a lot as a kid. Um, you're not American. Like, okay. What do you want me to say? Hot diggity damn. You eat with just a fork. In my culture, you have to have a fork and a spoon. We don't have chopsticks. It's a fork and a spoon. Whatever the fuck you're eating, you better use both. Because if you only use one, oh, what do you think you are? You think you're American now? Well, I mean, I don't know. I've only lived here my whole life and I'm like 20 now. So you never took me back to the Philippines. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know who I'm supposed to be, you know? And that's the thing. It's like no matter what you try and assimilate into, you're going to disappoint someone. Right? You're going to disappoint the people who love you as you are. Not love you, but love you as you are. Like they don't want you to change. They want you to stay the same because it fits their agenda. And then there are the people who you just don't quite fit in. So you kind of need to make sure you change that because you're fucking up my agenda. Right? And y'all wonder why I don't talk in person. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. This need to force me to assimilate into something because if you don't have any Asian friends, let me be your first Asian friend. You get your ass beat if you don't get an A. I'm not joking. There's like threats of kicking you out of the house, disowning your ass, like just a lot of threats. uh, yeah, if you don't get an A, like straight A's, you're gonna get your ass beat. Traditionally raised Asian. Let me clarify. I would never beat my children's ass off grades. Traditionally raised Asians, that's how it is. If and A minus, what the fuck are you thinking? I'm serious. Like, why is there a minus there? Are you joking? Like, no, I didn't draw that in. That's the grade. That's the grade. It's not enough. It has to be an A, which is barely acceptable. A plus, that's the goal. But and that's the thing. I did not have a home environment where there was any consideration for either of that. It was you better not forget you're Filipino and you better get a fucking A. And so now I'm multilingual, which is a beautiful thing done in a not so beautiful way. It's a beautiful thing to be able to exercise so many different parts of your abilities that tap into different cultures that you're part of. It's a very beautiful thing. But again, the way it was done through shame, through threats, through fear, not okay. It's not okay. And the same thing applies when it comes to your social circles, your spiritual groups, that you're under threat of excommunication. if you don't do as you're told, if you don't believe what you're told to believe, if you don't behave in the way you're told to behave, if you don't attack the person that the group leader has determined needs to be attacked, if you don't throw yourself in front of that bullet that's being aimed at the group lead, like, I will never integrate. Take me as the Ronin that I am, or leave me the fuck alone. Those are the only two options. See me and accept me as a Ronin, a masterless samurai, or be prepared. Those are the only two options. Because I will not integrate. I will not assimilate. I will not water myself down for people who don't understand the gravity of who and what I am. I refuse. I'm not obligated to. If you still are in a place within your life where you feel that you are obligated to what? What happens when you do these things to appease others? Does your life get easier? Do you receive more love? I know for my life, the risk that I took, several times in my life, I walked away from everything. I would rather experience peace in the destruction than destroy myself to recreate a synthetic peace. That's not peace. When it's synthesized, it becomes something else. I got into an argument with a doctor once. We were arguing over the fact that this doctor believes epinephrine is hypoallergenic. Because I told them I am allergic, anaphylactic level of allergy to the entire cane family, lidocaine, novocaine, all the canes, and epinephrine. And they're like, epinephrine is hypoallergenic. Okay, I'm Asian and I'm allergic to rice. I don't think my body gives a fuck about your rules, sir. And they were like, there's no way you're allergic to epinephrine. How is there no way? Do tell. Do tell. And he was talking about how epinephrine is adrenaline. And I have adrenaline in my body, that my body produces adrenaline. So there's no way that I could still be alive and be allergic to epinephrine. Sir, why don't they call it adrenaline then? Why don't they call it an adrenaline shot? Oh, no, they call it epinephrine because it's synthesized. So then it's something else. It's synthesized. Unless you're telling me you have people in the back room that churn, right? Are you harvesting their adrenaline? And this was early 2000s. If I tried to say that now in the doctor's office, I'm pretty sure I would get removed. No, but I said that. I was like, unless you have someone in the back that you're exciting in some way, pretty sure it's different. And that's the thing. Just because they tell you it's the same thing doesn't mean that it is. When it's synthesized, it's not the original thing. So now you're faced with this synthetic reality, this, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's something happening right now. Second. There's something happening right now. I feel it. Um, okay, hold on. Let me find. But like Yahoo News? Is that where I would go? Yahoo News. Um, I don't know. Tell me what to look for. Give me like a word, a phrase, something. It needs to be an actual like um I don't know what it is. I don't know. If you're not going to tell me, then I'm not going to know. Current events. Um you're giving me a full-on fucking headache. I don't know, guys. Trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You're always free to withdraw it. So it's almost this thing of like that synthetic is part of the trickster's plan. What is synthesized is not the same as the original thing. The unknown, knowing the unknown, but it's in reverse. So we don't know what the unknown is. How do you know what you don't know if you don't know it? How do you know what you do know or how much you know if you don't know how much there is that you don't know? Lily smiles a lot. Yes, there's something shifting. Feels tectonic. Storm is not done. The sacred fool. All right. So there's still something in the works. And something is pulling the string. See, look at this. Be the hunter, not the hunted. This is about bringing and allowing into your life. Um, yeah, when you start doing what's best for you, a majority doesn't like it because they feel like, who do you think you are? Someone you don't want me to be. That's who. um, collaborative dreaming. So something is being utilized. These strings being pulled. Something is being utilized to initiate this collaborative dream. She feels, she knows, but she doesn't feel, she doesn't know. It's just this sense that is being misreceived. Um, the perfection of your life in reverse. So you even you know that your life is being altered in some way, shape, or form. Seeing the true you in reverse. All of these distortions are being used to, I don't know, to like further to further pull you from center is what it is. It's this further pulling. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Someone pulling you? Is something pulling you? Are you being pulled by the divine, you know? Um, one, two, three, four, five, six. What's already with you? This is not heaven sent. This is not shock of the new. This is something you haven't been feeling. What's already with you? This is something that's already been programmed or injected. It's not heaven sent in reverse. So it comes from somewhere else, right? And then what do you feel? Shock of the new. This is something that's been going on for so long that you probably don't even sense what it is that's happening. You don't sense it. Legacy of light, focus on the light receiving. So, legacy of light, focus on the light. False light or natural light? That's the distraction. That's a cyclical movement. Hold on. Hold on. See, cyclical movement. All right. So, this focus on the light, perfection of your life, both of these have that circle. Excuse me. There's a fire burning, but they want you to focus on the light, right? Focus on the light. You come from a legacy of light, but they're having you focus on artificial light. So, what's that going to do for you? What is that going to do? We don't really know, right? Do you know that there's more than just UVA rays? There's UVB and a whole host of other bands of ultra frequency, ultra light, ultraviolet frequencies. And it's a very disturbing sense. So look at her forehead. She's emanating something. It's not what she's emanating. Communication between souls is direct. Inception comes from the side. What did they turn on? Hyperexcitation of the ionic sphere. Dysregulation. Affecting the thalamus. That relay is not. And the retrocerebral fields are being sedated. The amygdala is cloaked. Why would they want to hide that? Something's being hidden. There's a lot of intracranial interference. When I focus, it's like synaptic misfiring, confusion. Let's see. Yeah. Exploitation of existing insecurities. This exploitation of existing insecurities will cause an overreaction. It'll cause the walls to go up. When you do that, when that happens and you pressure inject light code, it then starts this process. It's like ultrasonic fragmentation. And that will very much affect your rejuvenation process. You can't rejuvenate when you're needing to mitigate ultrasonic burst pulsing. I don't know if I'm making sense. It makes sense to me. The upside down duality, redirection into that upside down duality, the past life returning, the original fall of the patriarchy because of the ancestral magic, this past life return, it's been tampered with. It creates an upside down duality which prevents the masculine and the feminine from reintegrating. It's that redirection. It's a continuation of the soul separation. But since it's in reverse, it's almost this sense of they're watching you now. I don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm just joking, Michael. I'm just joking. Anywho. He just told me we don't need your jokes right now. I don't care what you need. Okay, so I would love for CERN to have a terminal malfunction. I would. I would love that. One that's non-lethal. um, amygdala hijack is the least of your worries. Your hyper or hypoexcitation of the amygdala is irrelevant if your retrorubral fields have been neutralized. If that's sedated, you don't even know what's coming. You can't sense it. And then there's infiltration of the thalamus, which is the relay. That's the hub. That's what sends the information to all the different aspects of you. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some cloaked interference of the frontal cortex affect your perception of who you are, the way you perceive your interpretation of the environment. Yep. See what I'm saying? Self-sabotage, dark interference. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, maybe once upon a time, amygdala hijack would be enough. Definitely not enough now. There's too much awareness. The amygdala, if it's hijacked, it can cause either elevations in your aggression, your irritability, or it can cause you to go into a freeze mode, right? Where you don't react, you don't respond. But see, in order to trigger that, the retrorubral fields have to be functional. And if they're not functional, you don't even detect when danger is approaching, a credible threat, or any of that. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of them things. So card number 50, shadow work in reverse. That tells me just fuck it all. That's what that tells me. Just fuck it all. Yeah. Let me shift gears and get a final card. I don't really want to delve deeper into that simply because I don't want to scare the shit out of everyone. Not gonna lie to you. I don't want to scare the shit out of everyone. So, it's solstice. It's a beautiful day outside. Might be a good day to kind of just go hang out, be in nature, you know? Many see but do not see what's in front of them. Yeah. I stepped off a Zoom call earlier and had to immediately get off and was taken to my destination really fast. I'm not sure what that means. All right. So so um go easy on me, baby. I was still a child. Da, 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 da. What deck? Let's pick. Let's pick these two down here. Go easy on me, baby. Do, 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 do. Should we sing some La Bamba? Should we I think we should sing some La Bamba. That will shift the mood. Yeah? You guys want to well, some lady told everything is coming together. Those people are full of shit. Sorry. I get so sick and tired of people who just like they just spout these like what the fuck are you even talking about? It's a new world. It's like the reset in the new world and like the new earth and the new children and the new what the fuck does that mean? Para bailar la bamba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita y arriba y arriba. Ba ba bamba. Bamba da ba da ba bamba. Bum bum bamba. Yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Ba, ba, bumba. Okay, the celebrity. I lead with my light, bitch, please. Let me just recalibrate. The strategist. Mars. Ooh, hey. Oh, shit. See what I'm saying? This is exactly what I'm saying. Okay. The celebrity son, I lead with my light, charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, and unique. So there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that I would follow someone like that. I don't know that I would follow someone like that. Is that what you're doing? You're leading with your light? Or is this a message of like someone is feigning this leading you with their light, but in reality, they're using a flashlight, a synthetic light, synthesized? Mm. Para bailar la bamba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita y arriba y arriba. Okay, the strategist, Mars. Every vision has a plan. High achieving, productive, calculating, passionate, decisive, ambitious, enthusiastic, systematic, competitive, active, tactical. K33CP, shields up. Open up your tubes. All right. This ties into the duality, these archaic, very, very esoteric type things, right? The bunny is about to be in the money. But the fox is look at this. See that? The bunny is always more than several steps ahead. But here's the thing. Look. Look. See that? Trusting tricksters. Are you the bunny or the fox? Or is that a trick question? Is there power in being the bunny or in being the fox? Or are you a component on that checkerboard, that game board? Where is my book on animals? Por qui seré, por ti seré, por. Okay. Rabbit. There. It's a very creative time for you, so it's important to quickly take advantage of any opportunity that comes your way unexpectedly. Be extra vigilant for the next couple of days, and if anything threatening shows up, leave as quickly as possible. I will not leave. I will defend my home. So if you don't want shit to go south, Michaela, make sure nothing shows up. I'm just saying. I'm fucking tired. Try a vegetarian diet for the next few days and pay attention to the way you feel. Okay. Rather than steady, step by step progress, you'll see it happen in leaps and bounds. You're going to find yourself experiencing a period of quiet and stillness, followed by a burst of intense activity. Express your love freely and readily to those you're closest to. All right, so let's look at the fox. So that's one message, right? Trust your intuition and be wary of someone you're involved with who's attempting to trick you in some way. See what I'm saying? There's just a lot of fuckery going on right now. It's a whole lot of fuckery going on. I think I want to go eat. I'm not joking. I got some pumpkin curry something or other from the Thai restaurant last night. And it was amazing. I didn't finish it. I'd like to go eat it. Your intelligence and ingenuity are more useful right now than confrontation and righteousness. You see what I'm saying? I will charm the shit out of you. You want to come to my house and threaten me? Motherfucker, be prepared to be charmed. I will charm the fucking panties and boxers off of you. Be ready, because I'm not leaving the house. Be prepared to be charmed. I can be cute as fuck when I want to be. I'm just saying. Be ready to be charmed. It's important at this time to break out of your social conditioning and express yourself more freely. It's best to blend in to your surroundings, move with stealth, and keep your intentions to yourself. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Damn it. Now I'm going to have to work even harder to charm you. Prepare for me to flirt with you. You will not survive that. I'm telling you right now. The collaborator moon. I co-create to create cooperative, receptive, connective, supportive, curious, empathetic, responsible, insightful, accepting, inclusive, reliable, co-creative. I'm just saying. Just flirt with them until they die. I'm just saying. Just you want to start shit? I'm going to flirt with you. That's it. Good luck. Because you know what happens? You know what happens when I do that? You know what happens? You want to know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. You don't think I like you, which I probably don't. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, she loves me and I love her. And I must protect her. That's what's going to happen. And be like, I do like you. I like all humans. Liar. Jesus is not like liars. Try it. See what happens. Give me a reason. I will cook for you, motherfucker. And I'll clean your dishes. See how you like that? You know what I'm saying? I will cook and I'll clean. Mm-hmm. And then you'll totally be like, oh no, we can't do anything to her. We can't do anything to her. She cooks good and she cleans. Oh my God. So one time I will share this with you guys. I don't know if he remembers this. So one time, like, I don't know, y'all, I was pregnant. I was pregnant and I'm a bit extra when I'm pregnant. And my husband was at work, right? And I started cleaning the whole house because that's like my zen. Cleaning is my zen. And so I was cleaning the whole house. And for some reason, I felt the need to like reorganize the closet. Mind you, I'm supposed to be on strict bed rest. And that when I completed organizing the closet, I was like, oh, I'm gonna put on a dress. A fancy as fuck dress, okay? Like a ball gown. I said I'm extra when I'm pregnant. So I put on like a ball gown and I went downstairs to finish cleaning and I was in high heels. I didn't just put on a ball gown. I didn't just put on like a formal dress. I put on my high heels and I put on makeup and I put on lashes. And then as soon as I got downstairs, I still had like a couple hours before my husband comes home. And so I started cooking in a fancy dress and high heels while I'm pregnant and lashes on. And then I was done cooking and I was like, oh my God, he should come home with no dishes. At which point I put on my gloves. They go here. My yellow gloves. And I started washing the dishes. And it's not enough to just wash the dishes. Like I have to fill half of the sink with extremely hot water. And then I have to let it soak. And then I have to drain it. And then fill it with hot water again. And I have to soap everything down like excessively scrubbing. And it gets set here before it then gets put in the dishwasher to wash. Yeah, I had issues. And then I put it in sanitary cycle in the dishwasher. So the whole kitchen is really hot at this point. And I can't just drain the sink. Like you have to scrub everything. We had travertine tile. That's natural stone. You don't want that to fucking stain. And so I start scrubbing everything. And I left the sink on and it's hot and it's hot and it's steam. And then by the time my husband got home, I was in the kitchen crying because he didn't know what happened. He comes home. He's like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Because I have both my hands in the sink with my gloves on, crying. The steam loosened one of my lashes. The steam loosened one of my false lashes. And it fell in the sink in the dirty water and I couldn't find it. And I couldn't drain the sink because I'm going to lose the lash. And I was like, where's my lash? And then that's when he came home. And then I started crying. I was like, I'm so ugly. Oh, shit. He's like, why are you crying? Are you hurt? Are you hurt? And I couldn't talk because I was so upset. And he goes, "Get your hands out of the sink. It's so hot in here." And then he took off the fucking plug. And then Trina's like, "No!" And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "My lash was in there." And he goes, "Is that what's wrong with your face?" Worst day ever. I was like, "I'm so ugly." Oh my God. Yeah, no, no. Oh my God. I just need a moment. And then he realized what I was crying about. And he's like, "Are you fucking serious right now?" He's like, "Are you fucking serious right now?" What? And I was in a fucking ball gown. I was in a fancy ass dress with high ass heels, y'all. The heels I used to wear were like 6-inch heels. I was cleaning on my tippy toes. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah, he was like, "Is that what's wrong with you?" Because he couldn't understand why my eyes look crooked. It's okay. It was so bad. I couldn't stop crying. I went into preterm labor. I went into labor. It was far too early. I ended up having to change out of my clothes into regular like pajamas so he could take me to the hospital to stop the labor. And I was my lash, it's in the sink. It's somewhere. It's gone. And he's like, "We will buy you a new fucking lash. Don't worry." I said, "They only come in pairs. They only come in pairs." And he was totally like, "Well, we'll get you a whole new pair. Like, fucking stop crying because you're going into labor." And then because he said something like that to me, I cried even harder because you think I'm crazy. And he goes, "I don't think you're crazy." Yes, you do. You think I'm crazy. And he was just like, "Stop fucking crying already." Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. For that one, they gave me like, I don't know, they gave me quite a few shots in my ass. I got my hip. It was quite a few shots. They were like, "Mama, baby's gonna be far too early." Yeah. They wanted to know why I was so upset. Like, they were like, "Is everything okay at home? Do you feel safe?" And I was like, "I'm safe." It was so bad. Oh my God, over lashes. Anywho, let me pull the last 3 cards and then I gotta go. I just make it 4. I gotta go hug my husband because I don't know how the hell he deals with my ass. Seriously. I don't know how he has survived that many pregnancies. Like, I'm just saying. Either he is like a superhero of a man or he just don't fucking learn. One of those things. I don't know which one. It's one of those things. Either he's fearless or he just don't fucking learn. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna just calm down. All right. Right. Did I take the other lash off before going to the hospital? Yes. Yes. That was not my last pregnancy when that happened. That was not my last pregnancy. That was the second to last pregnancy. For the last pregnancy, I tried to pep talk the nurses into laboring with me without the doctor present. And I think that was the last straw for him. I'm pretty sure that was the last straw. because they told me, Mama, don't push. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm fucking pushing. And then he looked at the nurses and he was like, she's going to push. And they're like, Mama, there's no doctor here. You're trained. I believe in you. You just go between my legs. Don't drop the baby, okay? Just catch the baby. That's all you got to do. You ready? It's true. He was like, I think someone should go down there. He's like, I think someone should go down there. She's not joking. I was like, I'm not. I'm gonna push. You ready? And then fucker came in the room and I delivered. Anywho, card number 23, across the waters. You're being called across the waters as if crossing a bridge of light from one ocean to a far greater one. These waters are your emotional waters, holding your feelings, your attitudes, your expectations, and your fears and doubts, as well as your hopes and dreams. It can seem like such a lot to navigate. Sometimes our waters feel overcrowded, as if swarms of people were descending into the ocean on a sweltering hot day, hardly finding a space in the water to cool themselves. We can feel as though there is just no room for faith, trust, peace, and love. There is just too much happening in that water. We yearn for the cool, calm mountain lake, serene, giving, echoing a gentle dispensation of grace. You're being called across the waters, out from an overcrowded sea into the cool spaciousness of the endless lake. So it's like you're being asked to exit your environment only to enter an environment that is just as aqueous as what you came from. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's a lot calmer. It's a calm acceptance of a new way of being, one that doesn't involve other people, this solitude, right? He never volunteered to catch. I would think by your last baby, he would know exactly what to do. You misunderstand how well my husband knows me. You just he would catch if I behaved like a normal wife. He would. He would. He absolutely would. But I'm over here doing my own thing. So because I'm doing my own thing, he needs people who are licensed to handle someone like me in that type of situation. Right? In that type of situation, he needs people who are licensed and properly trained to handle someone like me. So no, he would not do that. He would not be okay with that. As a matter of fact, our last baby, the only reason I went to the hospital when my water broke was because he begged me to. He begged me to. I told him I was going to lock myself in the bathroom and take a bath. And I told him that in front of my cousin, and my cousin was like, bitch. I was like, what? And she goes, she's trying to have a home birth by herself. I'm like, what? I just want to take a bath. She goes, no, you cannot do that to him. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. I would call him when I'm done. And she goes, bitch, you cannot do that. He'll die. Not the baby, my husband. And I was just like, what? We'll bring him back. You know CPR. And she's like, no. She didn't want to participate. I was like, you're such a bitch. I swear to God. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's there. He's been present at every single birth. But instead of, he chooses to sacrifice for the team, and he volunteers his hand or his arm to be dislocated or broken by me as I labor. So we have our own little routine already set up. We have our own little routine. All right. So you're being asked to move to a different space. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you now or within you, then just know that there's a lot of divine presence to be received. It can't be explained really. It happens between the words, and yet without it, there wouldn't be any words, any guidance at all. Third spacing. I know. See, Harmony gets it. Poor him. Poor him. I remember for one of the babies, I was like, "Oh my god, I wonder if we can rent a little bathtub." And he's like, "For what?" It's like, "A bathtub." He's, "But we have a bathtub for the living room." And he's like, "What?" "A bathtub for the living room." And because it's like, this bitch is trying to give birth in your living room. I was like, "What?" People do it all the time. People do that all the time. It's okay. And then she had to be a total snitch and tell my husband she's technically considered a high risk multip, grand multip. And he's basically like, "What's that mean?" And then she told him, like a fucking snitch, that means she's at extremely high risk of her or the baby dying. I was like, "That's not true. I'm not at high risk of dying. Neither is the baby, but I am a grand multip." What? My body knows what to do. Y'all have little faith. My God. My body knows what to do. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I could do this shit in my sleep. No, I can't. Okay, heart fire. This oracle brings a message for you. Trust the passion, the fire of your heart to guide your decisions now. What would make you feel most alive? Choose that. Do I make you feel alive? Do I make you feel alive? I know, right? I know. You're welcome. If you're feeling a lack of genuine passion in your life, take comfort that it is awakening in your heart now, bringing something that has been long in rest back to life. You're learning how to ride waves of passion through eruptions of heat and descent into coolness, bearing the absence of fire, only to realize it's returning to you again. What the fuck is returning? Hold on. What? Oh. Okay, we're going to move forward from this card. We're going to move forward from that card. Card number 47, soft. That looks like a cervix. Card number 47. I might be ovulating as well. Did I threaten you guys to flirt with you? To flirt you into submission? I did, didn't I? Earlier? I did. I'm probably ovulating. I'm just saying, watch out, be careful. A sanctuary bathed in soft light, your heart is receptive, inviting, and gentle. What's going on here? What the hell is going on with these cards? It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It is a magnet for all that's needed for you, your beloveds, your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter going against a part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is your time to be soft, to surrender. Never. Never. Okay. To let the subtle waves of the heart invite love in and to receive. In doing so, you will give so much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. For all my pregnancies, I'm considered a very high risk because I almost died for every single one. I mean, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Yeah, no, I'm supposed to be on bed rest from about week 3-ish. That's around the time the doctor I'm not joking. The doctor orders me on bed rest from about week 3 of the pregnancy. Until I give birth. So card number 50, the cloak. Look at this. Look at that. Around you, there's a cloak of your own creation. Perhaps it has served you for a time as an invisible form of protection, as a way to claim needed solitude, as a way to retreat inside to find out what you truly feel, what you truly need, to find yourself after being lost in an ocean of thought and emotion, not always your own. Yet the time is fast approaching when you will no longer require that cloak. You have attained an integration within, a knowledge of self that makes it possible for you to connect with the world, with others, in a way that does not leave you lost and struggling to find yourself. Oh, this is beautiful. You have learned how to hold yourself. You've learned how to do this well enough that you can successfully hold yourself and hold another too. You don't have to push the world away. You can invite it in and you can play. The message that this oracle brings to you is that you can safely release the forms of security that you once held. You don't have to abandon your boundaries with others. Rather, your boundaries are so functional that you can enter into relationships with more openness, trusting that your boundary will naturally assert itself when necessary, giving you the connection to yourself that you need when you need it without having to withdraw from relationship entirely. It's time to trust your own boundaries and practice, letting them help you while actively engaging in deeper relationship. You'll have fun. Loneliness is like a ship in full sail with no wind and no place to go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mm, that's deep. That is so deep. There's just so much to unpack here. What if it's worth the risk? What if all of this is nothing but a calculated risk and it is worth the risk? Is it you taking the risk? Or is it someone taking a risk on you? Is it you taking a risk on yourself, a risk on a business, a risk on a decision that you don't quite know how it's going to turn out? This is so applicable in so many different ways. But is it really truly a risk when you have reached a point where your boundaries are auto regulating, where they exert themselves when it's necessary? That you don't have to be afraid of other people trampling that line, because that line, it's conscious, it's awareness. It is consciously aware of what it's there to do for you, with you. So is there really a risk, or is there just a perception of such? When things are meant to be, and look at this. So 47, 4 plus 7 is 11, right? And then there's 1. It's like opposing sides of that spectrum. It's like polarities, the light and the dark, the lion and the deer. And then there's this. One already walking through the ocean, while the other is simply still walking into it. So these are mirrors. And just like 4 plus 7 is 11, and you have 1 and 11. Oh, yeah, 1 and 11. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5, 0, and 5. So it's like mirrors of some kind. Mirrors. Mirrors of some kind. That reflection. Speaking of mirrors, I just want to check one more thing. Think of the very thing that is most pressing for you right now. What is the most pressing thing that you are living through in this moment? What is your biggest concern? And these cards are going to answer that concern. So think of that concern in a question form. Question form. What are you worried about? What are you worried won't pan out in the way that you need it or want it to pan out? What is it? What is it? Oh my God, how cute. Okay. All right. 1133. Fascinating. So cosmic connection and transformation. These are the things that are upside down for you right now. Whatever you're living through, it's causing a transformational process to be initiated. This transformation requires a cosmic connection to source, a cosmic connection to another person. I don't know. I just know it requires a cosmic connection. So allow yourself to feel that connection, allow that connection to exist, allow it to do what it's intended to do. The design of that connection is something that goes far beyond this corporeal world. That connection, it's designed, programmed by something from divinity, right? I'm sorry, I gotta put some of these cards away. I have no more space. All right. So then we have balance and surrender. Card number 2 and card number 31. Balance and surrender. One of the things that I noticed, I used to practice Ashtanga yoga, right? I am Ashtanga. I'm sorry, let me stop. Okay, no, seriously. I used to regularly practice Ashtanga yoga. I'm extremely flexible. And one of the things was that, regardless of how flexible you are with Ashtanga, it challenges you to take that flexible strength to another level, to allow the resistance to be the thing that causes your awareness of where you're at within your journey to be the very thing that takes you to the next level. And one of the things you do is you lean into that pose. And as you breathe in, you prepare yourself to surrender, to allow yourself to sink just a little bit deeper as you exhale. And in that deepening surrender, you are actually allowing for the stretching to become much more profound. And it's not just this passive stretching, it's this release of your conscious resistance where you refuse to stretch, where you refuse to give. Those are the areas you store the emotion and your rebellion to the processing of that trauma. So it's one of those things. In order for me to be able to balance as I do some of the poses of Ashtanga yoga, I would need to surrender. And it's just this thing of recognizing what this surrender is. A surrender is a timeout. It's a timeout and a celebration of the release, letting go, the purging of what's stored in that fiber, the purging of that fascia, the release. Did you guys know that the fascia is how your chakras anchor into your physical form? It's through fascia. And that modern science still doesn't really know what fascia does. It was once considered to be this toss away tissue, something that was just kind of used as glue to adhere the muscle fibers to wherever it is, and then the skin on top of the muscle fibers. And a lot of testing has been done, and they still don't quite know the true function of fascia. But in that testing, that experimentation, they've seen that fascia has a capacity to become a semi liquid, very gelatinous type of consistency to something that's very solid. It can alter form. Your entire body is covered with fascia. It's not just the outer layers of your muscles or the layer beneath the dermis, beneath your skin. It's not just that. Fascia surrounds every muscle fiber that then becomes a muscular bunch, which then becomes the actual muscle itself. Did you know your chest, your pecs, there's the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, your glutes, all of that. You have all of these different components that come together to form that muscle group. It's a grouping of components, and the components are created, the individuation of each stranding, each bunching, because they all do specific things. They all do specific things. They stabilize joints in specific ways. And so when you learn about this, you begin to understand that you are basically like a community that exists as an autonomous being. It's like when a community comes together, you have all the businesses and the people, and they all kind of come together, right? You can't build a house with simply the plumber or simply, the builder. You have to have all the different components. The people who specialize in the thing that they do, the plumbers do the plumbing, the electricians do the electric, all of that. The framers do the framing, the window installers do the windows, all of that. It's kind of like a homogeny, but they all still keep their separate purpose. They don't become one. They don't become this blob that functions in the same way. No, they are still autonomous in their function, but they can't do the full range of motion without the other components. And when you allow one to become stronger than the other because they work in opposition to each other, that's what creates a muscle imbalance, which then predisposes you to injury. When you love one part of you more than the other, you're setting yourself up to be injured. And then we wonder why we hurt. We wonder things that we don't need to wonder because we already have the answers. We just don't want to believe it. We don't want to believe it because to believe it means to need to do other work and take accountability, right? Like there are people who have injury and they say they can't do what needs to be done for the injury because they're injured. And that's how you'll remain if you don't do what needs to be done, right? I have knee injuries. I was supposed to have double total knee replacement when I was 26. Didn't get none of that shit done. No, no. And then what happened? I suffered through that for years. For years, I suffered through that until I was finally done with my suffering, my self inflicted suffering. And I began to do the work that would stabilize, that would empower, that would create a harmonious balance between opposing camps. And then I took it too far. I took it too far and I lifted too heavy and I pushed too hard unnecessarily. And so I'm starting over from scratch. But this time I'm doing it with love. One of the best things I've ever spent money on is a machine called Compex. Amazing machine. It's about the size of a phone, like a thick phone. And it does electrostimulation, causes a firing of the muscle fibers, firing. It can cause deeper firing than simple movement. And you can use that to begin the process of restabilizing yourself, your joints. All my joints were destabilized, and so I used that. And I didn't use it to try and lose weight or any of that aesthetic shit. No, I had one goal in mind: restabilize my joints so I can begin doing the proper work that's necessary. And so that's what I did. And that's what I'm still doing. I'm still doing it. I'm still stimulating my body in ways that promotes healing. Compex can only do so much. It can only do so much. You can use a potentiation of it to really wake your muscle up before you work out. You still have to work out. You can use it to go ahead and do a low frequency muscle firing so that your muscle will release a lactic acid that builds up after you've worked out. So you're not as sore. It rehabs the muscle. Or you can be impatient with it and use it at levels that your body cannot tolerate and tear the shit out of your ligaments. You could do that. You absolutely can. Just the other day, the muscle on top of my knee, that inner muscle on your quad, your thigh, the front of your thigh, it looks like a teardrop, that's atrophied on me. A TENS device does not stimulate your muscles in this way. TENS will only interfere with that neurological misfire that causes pain sensation. It's through the pain receptors, it disrupts that. And that's why it helps with pain. This is an actual muscle stimulator. It has a TENS function on it, but it can cause the muscle to contract in ways that a TENS cannot. And so yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I was using it and I see the way it stimulates my muscles. A muscle that's atrophied, it jumps. It jumps because it doesn't have that stability. It's not profuse with blood the way my stabilized muscles are. So I'm looking at the difference between my legs and I see exactly where I need more work. And I took it to the edge of what I could tolerate. Nothing further. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. That stimulated that quadricep muscle, that one muscle, and it pulled my kneecap back into alignment. For such a long time, my IT band, the outside of my thigh, is always very tight. Instead of my knee tracking up and down, your kneecap, it floats. So it's like this. This is your knee joint. and the kneecap floats and it gets pulled up and down, right? Mine doesn't track up and down. Mine tracks to the side. I know. I'm such an alien. It tracks to the side. I cranked that bitch all the way up as far as I could take it, which was not very far. It goes to 3 digits. I went to 15. I was like, no, bitch, bring it down to 12. And I let it do its thing in a way that made me uncomfortable, but not to the degree that I knew I was injuring myself. And after a few pulses, my kneecap tracks up and down again. It's about knowing yourself. It's about knowing your body. There's certain general body types. My body type is the kind where I gain weight on my arms, my belly, my inner thighs. Then another type of body would be you stay very lean up top, but you gain it all in your thighs, your calves, your ankles. They're like opposing body types. And typically, not always, but typically, when you have my type of body type, you have weaker inner muscles like your inner thighs, your abdominal region, your posterior chain is usually very weak because you carry all your weight in the front, which then creates an imbalance, causing you to injure your back, causing sciatica, causing all sorts of different injuries, right? When you learn how your body is, when you begin to really allow yourself to celebrate the way you naturally are, becomes easier to keep yourself healthy. I used to envy the body type where you have small breasts, you have very small upper body, and you have a very healthy lower half, right? I don't have that. I got boobies, boobies, a belly, and inner thighs. Jiggly. I'm a jiggly. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't need to shame myself into a space where I'm trying to be another body type. I can't ever be that. I just can't. I can get to that point. I can grow a big ass if I want and big ass thighs if I want. But the amount of effort it takes to remain an unnatural form for me. I mean, you know how much I have to eat? I cry when I eat. I have to eat that much just to keep that. It only takes me like 3 weeks for my body to eat all that muscle. What am I trying to get at? Celebrate yourself as you are, not how you want yourself to be. Celebrate yourself as you are. Be the healthiest version of yourself that you possibly can be. I'm not trying to be skinny. I'm not taking unnecessary risks. In order for me to be skinny like that again, I have to enter into a state of depletion. I'm not just talking about food. I was super skinny for a while, for quite a few years. However long I was that size is how long my last bout of depression was. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be sad just for an aesthetic. I don't. I don't need to be skinny. I don't need to be thick. I don't need to be any of that. I need to just be the healthiest expression of myself I possibly can be. If that includes a belly, then by all means, that's some fine ass belly right there. If that includes not having a belly, that's fine too. But I know if I don't have a belly, I'm going to have a lot of loose skin. That's fine too. Being able to take that risk of seeing yourself in a way that you've never seen yourself before, that's fucking profound. I'm shifting the way I'm seeing myself these days. I'm shifting it in such a way where I can just genuinely celebrate who I am, that I can allow myself to witness myself becoming a different expression of myself and not necessarily be totally afraid of what I'm becoming, of what I will look like, of who I will be. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Do-do-do-do. Do-do. Do-do. So I feel like I've preached to you guys enough. I feel like it. I'm satisfied. Whatever it was that I needed to say, I hope it was already said because I'm done. I'm done with the reading. It's about time for me to go. What would you guys like me to talk about in the next podcast? What does your heart want to know? Okay, I won't withhold. The information that I shared from the cards, not everything I said, but a lot of the messages from the cards. Um, I don't know why I don't want to say it. A lot of that information applies to twin flame connections, okay? I almost ended the whole live stream without. You guys already know. You can already tell when the messages apply to something like that. You can already tell. I know you can tell. Love yourself enough that you don't seek the love that you can very easily and very effectively give yourself. So you don't seek it from someone else, where you have to give people titles that they might not be worthy of. You're capable of loving yourself to that degree. For some of you, there's someone out there capable of loving you like that too. It's okay for them to love you like that. What's even better is if you love yourself like that, and on top of you loving yourself, someone outside of you loves you in that way too. And you guys, I asked my husband if he would teach a workshop to help people learn how to be a good partner, to support them in their efforts to become the best possible partner ever. He's so amazing. He says to me basically that every woman is different. And so there's nothing he can advise. You would need to get to learn her. You would need to know who she is so that you could learn how to properly cherish her. Said like the beautiful man that he is, I swear. And I was like, that's right. That's right. Ain't nobody like me, baby boo. And he goes, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true. I'm telling you. Unless y'all have washed dishes in a ball gown with yellow gloves up to your elbows and an eyelash missing, you can't say you like me. You can't say we the same. So, you guys, learn the people in your life. I had to learn as well. I truly had to learn what he needs from me as his partner, just like he had to learn, motherfucker, get off the live. I'm talking good about you right now. Why you gotta be so distracting? I'm joking. It's like, what did I do? I'm just saying. Yeah. He's just an amazing person. And, he doesn't try to be anything outside of what he feels I need. And you won't know what I need if you don't know who I am, how I am, where I am. Right? So I gotta go. I'm gonna go punish him. I'm joking. Unless you want me to. If you want me to, I will. I'll meet you upstairs. I gotta go.